In France, traffic managers can allow cyclists to ride through red lights after giving way to the different users going through on green. This authorization is indicated by a plaque placed on the frame of the lights. It was first limited to right turns but has now been extended to all traffic movements. In addition to improving the comfort of cyclists, this measure, contrary to preconceived notions, also provides improved safety. The most serious accident involving cyclists riding in town is one with an HGV or a bus turning right. Cyclists are not easily seen by lorry drivers and get hit, either by the front of the lorry when they set off together, situation 1, or by the rear axle which moves up against the corner of the pavement, situation 2, if the cyclist decides to let the HGV go first. Let's see how this works in an intersection in Paris. Here is the intersection between Boulevard Raspail and Rue de Fleurus in the 6th arrondissement in Paris. At this intersection, during the rush hour, traffic on Boulevard Raspail is 1,000 vehicles per hour, including 100 heavy goods vehicles or buses. Rue Fleurus has light traffic, but is used by many buses. Let's examine the situations before the plaque was fitted, for a cyclist riding down Boulevard Raspail and arriving at this intersection with the intention of continuing straight on. The cyclist arriving at the red light comes up alongside the lorry waiting at the same set of lights. She stops and must wait until the lights turn green to be able to enter the intersection. Two situations may arise when the cyclist sets off again. The cyclist and the lorry set off at the same time. The cyclist is hard to see. He is likely to be hit by the lorry. This may have the worst possible consequences. The cyclist waits for the lorry to make its right turn maneuver. The lorry driver can't see the cyclist in his rear-view mirror. In this situation, the cyclist is stuck between the pavement and the lorry. He can often escape only by getting quickly onto the pavement. Let us now examine these situations with the plaque authorizing cyclists to go through the red light, giving way to the other road users. The cyclist arrives at the traffic lights alone, slows down at the pedestrian crossing, checks that there are no pedestrians crossing, gives way to the bike, and moves into the intersection. Another example, when the cyclist arrives at the traffic lights at the same time as the lorry, he slows down at the pedestrian crossing, checks that there are no pedestrians, then checks that there are no cars arriving from Rue de Fleurus, and moves into the intersection. In this way, he is out of the way of the lorry. When the lights are at green, cyclists turning to the left must, like all vehicles, wait until the flow of traffic coming from the opposite direction has stopped. If they wait on the right, they are safe, but have to wait until the end of the phase to be able to go through. If cyclists stay in the middle, they are between two traffic flows in an uncomfortable position, which may even be dangerous, because they are not very visible. This is the intersection between Rue Claude Bernard and Rue Gay-Lussac, with heavy traffic, and Rue de Feuillantine and Rue d'Ulm, with light traffic and a one-way system for cars. The cyclist arrives at the red light and stops. At green, he sets off and waits in the middle of the intersection to allow cars through before finishing his left turn maneuver. The cyclist waits for the lights to change to green. When she gets to the middle of the intersection, she is forced to stop in an uncomfortable situation, to let cars coming up from behind or approaching in front of her pass. The situation becomes more uncomfortable with buses coming. Let's go over the sequence. The cyclist moves up the line of cars waiting at the traffic lights and stops in the waiting area. When the lights turn green, she sets off, and after a few meters, she is stuck in the middle of the intersection, waiting for the cars coming from the opposite direction to stop. In this situation, the cyclist enters the intersection after letting through pedestrians and other users on green. He uses the remaining red period to carry out his maneuver safely. Illustration: pedestrians cross. The cars which were waiting to turn left clear the intersection. Meanwhile, our cyclist sets off calmly. She lets through the bike that has just passed the lights at green and crosses the intersection, which is now empty. When she crosses the intersection, cars are stopped opposite and she has time to go through comfortably without getting in the way of the white van which is going through on green. It should never be forgotten that traffic lights are primarily a tool for regulating motor traffic. Even though they sometimes allow pedestrians to cross streets more comfortably, they are in general very restrictive for non-motorized users. Giving cyclists right of way at red lights is a simple and innovative way to make cycling more comfortable. It is also, and somewhat less intuitively, a safety device that facilitates cycling without endangering cyclists or other users.